Oblivion Song is the new book from Robert Kirkman and Lorenzo De Felici. So Robert Kirkman, of course, is the Walking Dead guy. I don't know much about the Walking Dead comic. I've read little bits here and there. Of course, I've watched a little bit of the TV show. I dropped out after some point. And I have also read a little bit of Kirkman's other comic books, Outcast and Invincible. And I like all of those books. I haven't finished or kept current with any of them, but I always like what this guy does. He's pretty good at what he does. And I think a lot of people would agree. So when something new of his comes out, it's kind of exciting. I know I was actively reading comics when Outcast came out. I read quite a bit of that one. But changed jobs, moved farther from the comic book store, didn't keep up. So it was exciting to jump into comics at the time that Kirkman was starting something new. So basically, we're starting off with this kind of creepy little byline here, kind of like a little narration. The breeze, the creatures in the distance, insects. It all came together it sounded like nothing I'd ever heard before. It was music. So, I mean, this ties in nicely with the title. So basically, it opens up with these people on the run. And kind of continues in, and it seems like they are under attack from this guy, but actually this is the hero, and he's hitting them with this sort of sniper rifle armed with these dots, when they're interrupted with these by this sort of like bio monster. So the hero gets knocked from his sniping perch. They're in big trouble. They're all just running for their lives. He's able to shoot one of the survivors here and teleport her right before she gets snapped up. And that kind of leaves him in a bad spot. He's sort of drawn the attention of the monster. This is all really good. I like the way that the creatures and the environments look here. The people, I'm not so hot on the way they look, and I'll talk about that a little more. And I'll talk about a lot in issue 2. My review for issue 2 should be up anytime now. But yeah, this is exciting. It's good stuff. He's on the run from the monster. He finds out that his personal teleporter isn't working. And so he's like on the run. He does this sort of evasion stuff, a little like not really parkour type thing, but he runs. He can't figure out the belt. He ends up just jabbing himself in the neck with the dart to escape. And here at the bottom we get a good look at sort of the environment here. It's kind of been taken over by this bio stuff. So basically this is the story of a guy named Nathan Cole, and basically runs this rescue operation to this world that they call Oblivion. The basis of the story is that like a decade ago, like 30 miles of Philadelphia was kind of sucked into like an alternate dimension or something, and for a time they went over and rescued people, but they've since stopped. It no longer became feasible due to money and tech and stuff like that. So Nathan has continued to go over there with the help of, this is Duncan, I believe is his name. He's one of the survivors that Nathan rescued, and he seems to be like the tech guy. And also on the team is Bridget, and these two seem to have some kind of relationship. She seems to be the nurse. But the people they've rescued come over. She's kind of berserk and disoriented. She scratches Duncan. They kind of talk about the bacteria that could be under her nails. But yeah, Nathan appears. They ask him, did you dart yourself? And you had no choice. As you'll see here, like I said, he's kind of like the only guy doing this. He's the only guy who hasn't given up. And he's kind of running this with equipment that doesn't work and good stuff like that out of these shipping containers, basically in the middle of nowhere. So, he has a very personal reason for doing this, and they kind of hint at it and stuff. But I mean, he seems like a very likable main character. I mean, he's apparently going over to find his brother, who was never accounted for, is never recovered from Oblivion. But he's, in the meantime, he's saving all these people. And another thing that I like about this guy is that when he finds someone, he sneaks to this memorial that was created for the people lost in Oblivion, and he scratches their names off, which is cool. That's a very kind of Captain America-esque type thing to do. He's kind of like, doing the right thing. He hadn't given up on these people and stuff like that. It's treated to a scene that doesn't quite make sense yet because, it's just kind of alluding to, he has some reason for doing what he's doing, and he has some regrets. He's definitely going over there out of like guilt or some kind of penance for something. But I mean, based on what we've seen of this guy so far, it would have to be pretty awful for me to not like Nathan, based on what I've seen so far in this book. But I'm going to skip a few pages here, but basically we're introduced to Nathan's girlfriend. She seems to be some sort of government agent or somehow, involved in some kind of finance or something like that. But Nathan tries to get more money. He says, hey, I just showed you more people are alive over there. Fund me, help me save more lives. And basically they just straight up tell him no, and they tell him that his continued visiting of Oblivion is sort of dangerous, and that he, people are concerned he could cause another transference to happen, which he tells them, that science has been dismissed and they have no reason to think that's the case. So basically he's left out in the cold with no money. And just, all he can do is just keep on keeping on. And this is definitely a point of contention with him and his girlfriend, and they have kind of a little bit of a spat here because, he just refuses to stop going over there. He won't let it go. But, it's kind of, makes him admirable. But, Nathan continues to go over to Oblivion. We're treated to a lot of cool visuals here as he makes another trip over. He finds some remains. He takes the teeth, presumably for the dental records. And I won't show any more because I don't want to spoil the ending, because it has a pretty nice hook. But basically, Nathan is being watched while he's in Oblivion. So we're kind of given the impression that there are more survivors and they're organized and they don't want to be found. So again, this is awesome setup. This is an awesome setup. This is, this is good stuff. I like the way Kirkman writes. I like these characters. I like the premise. And he says at the back of the book that this will be a very different book 30 issues from now, and that they have 13 issues already done. So I'm curious to see where it goes. I mean, it seems awesome. And I mean, the monsters don't seem like something you could fight. You're pretty much run or die type deal. The government aspect of it is pretty compelling. There is a lot to like here. However, I do have a complaint, and that is the character art. The people have kind of a basic, very minimalist design. They don't look distinct enough. I feel like the scene, for example, with Bridget and Duncan, I mean, aside from the color of Bridget's skin, she doesn't look too different from Nathan's girlfriend, and I'm blanking on her name. And that, that's a problem, that I could see impacting my enjoyment of the book, because they just don't look great. They look stylized, but it's going to be subjective, I think. You're going to like this character art or you're going to hate it. And I'm not loving it. And I'll talk about this a little bit more in my next review, but yeah, a lot of the people look samey. A lot of a lot of the faces and stuff don't look very distinct to me. And I mean, that could be confusing for something that relies so much on the visuals. You know, if everybody starts looking similar, you're kind of left to the mercy of the story to, drop names and stuff like that. But I mean, it's going to be hard to beat the book in the art department when it comes to like the creature design and the environments and stuff that he's drawn. It looks really awesome when there's action. But yeah, I mean, this is, not too bad of an example. I mean, it's like, here, you can see Nathan and you can see the survivor. I mean, they just have the same similar look. If Nathan had long hair and if Nathan had long hair like this survivor, they wouldn't look that different. I think that's what I'm trying to say. And I'll talk more about that in my review of issue 2, but this is an easy recommend. I mean, you need to check this out and see if it hooks you, because I'm sure it'll be a slow burn, a long story, and there'll be a lot of twists and whatnot. That's kind of what Kirkman does. And, it does feel like, they're dropping little hints that there's much, much more going on. So I like this book. I like where it's going. Easy recommend. Let me know what you thought of it. Let me know what you think of Outcast. Let me know what you think of Invincible. Are you a fan of Kirkman? Do you like this art? Do you like this art but dislike the character art? Do you like the environments and the monsters, but do you not like the people like I do? Or I don't. Comment below and let me know. And like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Do ring the bell. I will be uploading videos just as often as I'm able, and I'll read all the comments and see your suggestions. If there's a book you think I should check out, let me know. And thanks for riding along on the Stellar Highway.